Mabuiga. Welcome back to the Garifuna Experience podcast. I'm your host, Jose Francisco Avila. Today's special episode is a call to action in partnership with the New York State Census Partnership. I am asking you to contact your New York State Assembly member, your New York State Senator, and Governor Hochul's office by Tuesday, March 3rd, and urge them to fully fund and authorize the $15 million census allocation, a state census assistance office, and New York State Counts Commission, because our future is at stake. You see, New York is projected to lose at least 2 congressional districts and electoral college votes after the 2030 census, something we can help to avoid with dedicated and targeted strategic investments in census preparation. It's never too early to prepare for the census, but it can absolutely become too late to catch up. New York learned that lesson in 2020 when we lost the congressional seat by just 89 people. Think about that. 89 people is a small church gathering or a big family reunion. Because those 89 people weren't counted, our voices in Washington got quieter. The stakes, a decades-long decline. Let's look at the scoreboard, and I'll be honest, it doesn't look good for New York. Since 1980, we have lost congressional districts every single decade. We lost 5 congressional districts after the 1980 census, 3 after the 1990 census, 2 after the 2000 census, 2 after the 2010 census, 1 after the 2020 census. The 2030 projection? We are on track to lose at least 2 more. We cannot afford to go backward. When we lose congressional districts, we lose electoral college votes. We lose political power. We lose billions in federal funding for our schools, our hospitals, and our infrastructure. Preparations for the 2030 census are already underway. Governor Hochul's proposed budget includes funding to support a full and complete count, including the creation of a census support office and resources to assist local governments with the local update of Census Addresses, LUCA program, the only opportunity local governments have to review and correct the address list for the upcoming census. The LUCA factor, counting every door. There is a technical term you need to know, LUCA. It stands for Local Update of Census Addresses. Think about our neighborhoods. How many of our people live in basement apartments, attic conversions, accessory dwelling units? If the Census Bureau doesn't have those addresses in their master address files, the people living there do not exist in the eyes of the government, affecting political representation, federal funding, and planning decisions for the next decade. The local update of census addresses starts in 2027. It is the only time local governments can fix the address list. If your apartment isn't on that list, you won't get a census form. You won't be counted. We need the state to fund our local nonprofit organizations and community, supporting trusted local organizations to help identify garages, basements, attics, accessory dwelling units, and other overlooked housing can make the difference between losing and preserving congressional districts. The warning, the 2026 test. Here's the urgent part. On February 2nd, the U.S. Census Bureau announced the launch of the 2026 operational census test. Frankly, it's looking a little weak. They're scaling it back. They want to use the American Community Survey Questionnaire instead of the decennial census form. This undermines the scientific validity of the test and limits its usefulness for evaluating 2030 operations, since the American Community Survey Questionnaire and the decennial census form serve different purposes. They're even talking about using United States Postal Service employees instead of trained census workers to knock on doors. Worst of all, they are looking at English-only internet responses. This creates barriers for limited English proficient households and reduce accessibility for individuals who rely on paper or phone options to participate. For a community like ours, where many of us speak Garifuna, Spanish, or many struggle with digital form, this is a recipe for massive undercount. The Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights is fighting this, and we need organizations to sign their letter by March 4th. Call to action, what you can do. We are not just here to vent, we are here to work. Here's our checklist. Contact your assembly members and state senators. Tell them to fully fund the $15 million census allocation. Tell them we need the State Census Assistance Office and the New York County Commission. Do this by Tuesday, March 3rd. Raise awareness. Share this episode. Talk to your church leaders, your business owners, and your neighbors about why 2027 and 2030 matters now. Local nonprofits, start planning your local update census addresses, LUCA strategy today. Don't wait for the state to tell you what to do. Be ready to lead. This is about our future. It's about making sure that the Garifuna voice in New York stays loud and clear for the next decade. There are no second chances in the census. Once the count is done, it's done for 10 years. Check the show notes to find your representative and the template to send them an email. Special thanks to the New York State Census Partnership, including the New York Immigration Coalition and the New York Law School Census and Redistricting Institute for leading this fight. Thank you for listening. Remember, the future of the Garifuna people is in our hands. Until next time, stay united, stay proud. Sungube Lida Aba. Ayo. Find new episodes of the Garifuna Experience podcast every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Amazon Music, or whatever you get your podcasts. Please rate and review the Garifuna Experience podcast. It helps our history reach the world.